So hello everyone, this is Arishri and today I'm going to take a lecture on the fundamental unit of life, cell. So yes, the cell is the fundamental unit of life. How? Just like you have bricks during the construction of a building, one to one the bricks are connected and a huge building is constructed. Similarly, there are millions of cells inside the human body which constitute together to keep us working like this. Just like in the non-living beings, there are the constituent particles are your atoms. Similarly, in living beings, the constituent particles are cell. Where else have you heard this word cell? In our daily life, do we call the batteries in the form of cell which we use in our daily electronics gadgets? So yes, what is the work of the cell in those gadgets? It provides energy for the gadget to do its work. Similarly, the cell also provides energy through various metabolic processes going on inside it and keeps us going. Let's move ahead. So, how the cell was invented? Do we, I said, we are all made up of the cell. The constituent particle of living beings is the cell. But can we see it with naked eyes? No. So yes, these are microscopic structures. You cannot see them with naked eyes. It was first discovered by a scientist called as Robert Hooke in the year 1665. So back in that time, the scientist called Robert Hooke discovered cell. Later on, there's another scientist mentioned in our books. It is Anton von Leeuwenhoek. Now, this scientist, why is it important? Because he was the first one to see bacteria, fungi, protozoa under the microscope. So, when you're asked who discovered the cell first, it is Robert Hooke. But if you're asked who discovered a living cell first, that is Anton von Leeuwenhoek. Later on, the cell nucleus was also discovered by a scientist called as Robert Brown. So yes, these are your different cells which you can find in the human. Each kind of cell is a constituent of each part of your body, like the nervous system. It is constituted of nerve cell. Okay, similarly, the bone cells, they constitute the bones of our body. Then we have sperm. The sperm is a male reproductive cell. Then we have ovum, the female reproductive cell. And also in our blood, we have various cells. You must have heard RBC, WBC. So you will study about that in higher classes, but these are your blood cells. Okay. Different kinds of cells, all the cells are not similar in shape or size, okay, but their work is the same. They are the constituent particles. That is necessarily true. Moving ahead, so we can say that a cell is the smallest unit capable of performing life functions. Okay, as you can see, there are various organelles present inside the cell which help it to perform the daily functions, which perform the metabolic functions required for our daily course. You have your chloroplast, you have your nucleus, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi body, the cell membrane, the ribosome, the mitochondria. One by one, we'll take each of these and study them in detail. So, The shape and size of cells are related to specific function they perform. As I said, you will find various shapes and sizes of cells. That is according to the function that they perform. Each living cell has the capacity to perform a certain basic function. That is what I told you. If they will perform their functions, then only our body will keep moving. Cell contains a specific component called organelles. I just made you see the organelles, mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, right? So all these are known as cell organelles. Just like inside the atom, you have electrons, protons, neutrons. Similarly, inside the cell also, we have various cell organelles which do several functions, specific functions, and make the cell carry out the activities. Each kind of cell organelle performs a special function. We'll study about them. All cells are found to have the same organelles irrespective of their function and which organism they are found in. As I said, there may be various kinds of cells in different shapes, in different sizes, but they have the same organelles irrespective of their functions. Okay, there's a difference in the plant cell and in a animal cell. But if you have a basic look on the organelles, you will find the same organelles in the animal cell. Ribosome is present here also, ribosome is present in here also. Then you have the mitochondria, Golgi complex, nucleolus, nucleus, nuclear membrane, cytoplasm. So red endoplasmic reticulum. Overall, the organelles are same. We'll look at the difference also, but yes, all cells are found to have almost same organelles. Exceptions are there. Cell membrane or plasma membrane. As I said, the cell membrane is that part of the cell which separates it from the outside medium. Suppose this is your outside medium. The cell is separated from the outside medium with the help of a membrane, and that membrane is what you call as cell membrane. Okay, so it is the outermost covering of the cell that separates the contents of cell from external environment. Okay, you can compare it with a gate. Okay, just like a gate in a building, you have a building, you have a garden, and then there's a gate to your house. What is the work of that gate? It allows the entry and exit of people, of vehicles, but that is the work of that gate. It also separates it from the outside world, so that is the work of the gate. What else is the work of the gate? You can relate it that at the gate you have a guard. What will he do? Prevent the movement of some other materials. Okay, a guard will prevent the entry of any mischievous person or activities. Same way, the cell membrane also prevents the movement of some other material and is therefore called a selectively permeable membrane. Very important for exams. Why is a cell membrane selectively permeable? Why? Because it only allows certain materials to enter the cell and not all. Okay? Okay. Moving ahead, the plasma membrane is flexible. We also call the cell membrane as the plasma membrane, and it is made up of organic molecules. If it would have been made up of inorganic molecules, it would have been rigid. Since it is made up of organic molecules like proteins and lipids, it is flexible. So this is an important point over here, proteins and lipids. What is the cell membrane made up of? It is made up of proteins and lipids. Okay, next up we have cell wall. So what is a cell wall? Cell wall is the outermost covering, the hard covering of the cell. Okay, as you can see, it is the outermost hard covering of the cell. It is even outside the cell membrane. Okay, it is composed of cellulose. What was the cell membrane composed of? Proteins and lipids. What is the cell wall composed of? Cellulose. What is cellulose? It is a complex substance and provides structural strength to plants. Very important point. The cell wall is not found in animal cell. Where is it found? Only in plant cell. It provides structural strength to the plants. Cell wall is present in the plant cell and helps the plant to withstand the environmental changes. We have our shelter, we have our homes, but the plants, they lie outside in sunlight, in rain, in cold weather. So a lot of temperature changes and environmental changes are there. They need to withstand all of those things, and the cell wall is very convenient in that process. Moving ahead, we have the next in the list is nucleus. What is a nucleus? If this is a cell, in the center of the cell you will find a nucleus. Nucleus has a double layered covering called nuclear membrane. Just like in case of your cell, you have plasma membrane. Similarly, over here you have nuclear membrane. It is a double layered covering. Very important, it is a double layered covering. Okay, you have nuclear membrane. We call it nuclear membrane. The nuclear membrane has pores which allows the transfer of materials from inside the nucleus to outside. So outside, just like I told you, the cell membrane separates it from the external surface. Here also, within the cell membrane is whatever lies is your cytoplasm. Okay. So what does the nuclear membrane separate the nucleus from? The nuclear membrane separates it from the outside cytoplasm, just like our cell membrane used to. So nuclear membrane has pores. Now there in the nuclear membrane also you've got pores which allows the transfer of material from the cytoplasm into the nucleus or from the nucleus into the cytoplasm. It also contains chromosomes. It contains chromosomes. Now, what are chromosomes? This process of division of one parent cell into two daughter cells is known as cell division. What helps in this process is your chromosomes. These are visible rod-shaped structures which are visible, which are seen only during the cell division. They have a role in cell division. Chromosomes contain information of inheritance features from parents to the next generation in the form of DNA molecules. Very important. What is DNA? DNA is the deoxyribonucleic acid. DNA is deoxyribonucleic acid. You must have heard about DNA tests in various movies. No? So, what is DNA actually? DNA consists of information of inheritance from the parents to the child. Like, for example, the child is going to have which eye color, which color of hair. All these information are going to be carried in the DNA in the inside the chromosomes. So that is why chromosomes is an important structure which is located inside the nucleus of a cell. So if I tell you specifically, we have DNA. DNA contains all the genetic information which needs to be transferred from the parents to the offsprings. DNA is found in the chromosomes. Chromosomes are found in the nucleus, and nucleus is found in the cell. Another important property of the cell which makes it the fundamental unit of life. Next we have cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is nothing but the fluid content inside the plasma membrane. Whatever the fluid content inside the plasma membrane or the cell membrane is there, it is all known as cytoplasm. And it is in the cytoplasm that all the various cell organelles are found. What are the cell organelles found inside the cytoplasm? So we have the endoplasmic reticulum, we have the Golgi apparatus, we have the lysosomes, we have the mitochondria, we have the plastids and vacuole. This is the outermost layer known as plasma membrane. Okay. Then what all we have studied? Nucleus, correct. This is the nucleus. Inside the nucleus you also have nucleolus. Then what do we have? What else do we have? We have cytoplasm, the fluid content, cytoplasm. Okay. Apart from that, whatever you see are all your cell organelles, the various cell organelles. Moving ahead, we have the first cell organelle in our list, endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum is a large network of membrane-bound tubes and sheets. It is in the form of tubes and sheets, and it is all a network, it is all connected. Where is it found? Inside the cytoplasm. There are two types of endoplasmic reticulum, rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. What makes the two of them different? So important point is the rough endoplasmic reticulum contain ribosomes on it, which give it a rough appearance, while the smooth endoplasmic reticulum do not contain the ribosomes. So they are seen to be smooth in structure. The endoplasmic reticulum also serve as channels for transport of materials between various regions of the cytoplasm or between the cytoplasm and the nucleus. So every cell organelle has a particular function. The endoplasmic reticulum has a function in the transport of materials between the various regions of the cytoplasm. Inside the cell, a lot of activities take place. You will study about them in the higher classes. But endoplasmic reticulum is the one which acts as a channeling between the various organelles contained in the cytoplasm for the transport of materials. It also functions as a framework providing a surface for biochemical activities. It has got a network in the form of tubes and sheets, so it makes a framework. It provides a surface for the various biochemical activities. Next we have Golgi apparatus. It is named as Golgi apparatus on the discoverer Camillo Golgi. It was first discovered by Camillo Golgi. It consists of a system of membrane-bound vesicles arranged parallel to each other in stacks called cisterns. So in the diagram, can you see there are various membrane-bound vesicles? They are stacked one upon another, and this forms a cistern. This is what you call as a cisterns. So this is an important question. Where are cisterns found? Inside the Golgi apparatus. The material synthesized near the endoplasmic reticulum is packaged and dispatched to various targets inside and outside the cell through the Golgi apparatus. So the endoplasmic reticulum is a factory. It makes the materials, and then it transfers to the Golgi apparatus inside the cytoplasm. Now the packaging, dispatching, all those processes are carried out inside the Golgi apparatus. Other functions are storage, modification, packaging of products in the vesicles. So just like a factory works, some place the synthesis is taking place, then it is transferred to a different place for the packaging, for the storage, all these things are carried out in the Golgi apparatus. It is also involved in the formation of lysosomes. As much as the activities are carried out inside the cell, a lot of waste will be generated. Okay, and it is very important to get rid of those waste products, otherwise they will lead to toxicity first, and this work inside the cell is provided to the organelle called as lysosome. It keeps the cell clean by digesting any foreign material as well as any worn out cell organelles. It also contains powerful digesting enzymes which are capable of breaking down all the organic material. When the cell gets damaged, lysosomes may break open and the enzymes digest their own cells. In case of any kind of scarcity, these lysosomes are capable of digesting the own cell, and that is why they are known as suicide bags of the cell. So this is an important point. What are the suicide bags of the cell? It is your lysosomes. And why they are called as suicide bag of the cell? Because whenever there is a damage in the cell, the lysosomes break open and the enzymes digest their own cell. Next up, we have mitochondria. The mitochondria is known as the powerhouse of the cell. Whatever functions the cell performs, it needs the energy. And this energy is provided to the cell by the mitochondria. Hence, it is known as powerhouse of the cell. It is very important for the exam. Why is it known as the powerhouse of the cell? Because the energy required for various chemical activities is released by the mitochondria in the form of ATP molecules. ATP is the energy currency of the cell. What is the full form of ATP? Adenosine triphosphate. Mitochondria has got two membrane coverings. What else did we study with two membrane coverings? Nucleus. The nucleus also had double membrane covering. So likewise, mitochondria is also a cell organelle containing two membrane coverings. The outer membrane is very porous and the inner membrane is deeply folded. We'll look at the structure of the mitochondria, where these foldings, we'll study them as cristae. The mitochondria are able to make their own proteins and have their own DNA and ribosomes. Now, the ribosome is responsible for the protein synthesis. That means inside the mitochondria, it can replicate by its own because of its own DNA, and also it can create its own protein according to its requirement. Why? Because it has got its own DNA and ribosomes. So this is the structure of mitochondria that you need to draw in the exams. You will show an outer membrane, an inner membrane. As you can see, the inner membrane is folded into crista. This is an important structure which is asked in exams. What is the crista? Where it is found? In which cell organelle is it found? So, what is crista? folding of inner mitochondrial membrane. Apart from that, you can see it has got its own DNA, it has got its own ribosome, granules are present, and the inner part is all known as matrix. Also, what is it known as? Powerhouse of the cell. Why? Because of ATP generation. So there will be ATP synthase particles. From the word itself, try to find out ATP synthase. That means particles which are involved during ATP synthesis. Next up we have plastids. Plastid is a membrane-bound organelle found in the cells of plants, algae and some other eukaryotic organisms. So what do you need to make sure you know that it is not found in case of animal cells. It is only present in the plant cells. You may have chromoplast, you may have leucoplast. Difference is chromoplasts are colored and leucoplasts are not colored. The word chromo only tells you that it is colored. The plastids, which are green in color, they have the pigment known as chlorophyll, they will be known as chloroplast. Leucoplasts store materials such as starch, oils, protein granules. So various plants, they store various materials. They contain seeds which will give you oil. So all these things are stored in the plastid. Plastids contain membrane layers embedded in a material called stoma. We'll see in the structure. It has a similar structure like the mitochondria, and they also have their own DNA and ribosomes just like mitochondria. So here's the structure of plastid. You can see the outer membrane, the inner membrane, you have stroma lamellae. The stroma is there, just like the cytoplasm is there inside the cell. Here we have stroma. Then you have stack of thylakoids. What happens? Thylakoids are there and they are stacked one upon another, as you can see in the structure. When they are stacked together, they are known as granum. Okay. What is the individual unit known as? Thylakoids. Now there are various granums. These granums are joined to one another with the help of a lamellae. Do you see? Stroma lamellae. They are joining the various granums. Okay. One unit is known as thylakoid. When they are stacked, they are known as granum. Various granums are joined by stroma lamellae. And again, it has got its own DNA and own ribosome. Next up, we have vacuoles. These are storage sacs for solid and liquid contents. Small size vacuoles are present in animals. They may be very small size or even not present, but they are large in case of plants. In plant cells, vacuoles are full of cell sap and provide turgidity and rigidity to the cell. They are involved in the storage of amino acid, sugars, various organic acids and some proteins. In amoeba, the food vacuole contains the food items that the amoeba has consumed. Vacuoles play an important role in expelling excess water and some waste from the plants. So that's the end of the cell and its structure. Thank you.